Life insurers say there's been a concerning rise in unnatural death claims. This after Momentum announced its 2022 statistics last week. They reveal life insurance claims attributable to murder have surged by 72% since 2021. Also concerning is that for those under the age of 30, 67% of unnatural deaths were caused by motor accidents. Let's find out more now from Momentum Life Insurance's head of technical marketing. That's George Colby, or rather it's Sibusiso Khumalo speaking to us now. Sibusiso, just confirm for me very quickly, first of all, your position. I believe it's head of technical and marketing at Momentum, right?
Yes, you're correct. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you for having me. I saw the statistics in your report and they're quite scary. Just tell me about this particular claim, first of all. You say 6.6 million rand was the most that you've actually paid out in terms of a claim, and that had to do with murder, I believe. Did you investigate properly that the people who actually claimed deserved it? Because, you know, we've had a Nomia Ndlovu type of 2 years in South Africa.
Okay. I think the 6.6 you're referring to was actually for a mental health claim. So maybe just to quickly start with just the big numbers. So we paid about 6.2 billion in 2022. This was a 31% reduction from the 9 billion that we paid in 2021. You know, and it's mainly associated with the reduction in COVID-19 claims. In 2021, those accounted for about 42%. They now account for 12%. So the 6.2 billion is mainly from the death claims, so 4.7 billion from death, and the 1.5 billion will be disability and critical illnesses. So of concern to us, which is what you're raising, is the increase in the number of unnatural deaths. Yeah, so we saw, so murder will form part of unnatural deaths. We saw 11% increase there. Suicide, there was a slight reduction of about 7%. Motor vehicle accidents increased by 17%. We saw surgery complications or surgery-related complications increasing by 63%. So, but that alarming one of murder, we saw a huge jump from 2021 to 2022 of about 72%. But I need to put that into perspective because it's off a very low base. I mean, we're talking less than 100 claims because of murder. And the main method really that is being used to commit these murders is gunshots. So 60% of those are gunshot related. We have your strangulations as well, and you know, using sharp objects to stab. That's sitting about 7%. So that would cover the unnatural death and yeah, that concern that you're raising around murder and you know, trying to raise awareness.
I'm going to come back to that particular issue, Sibusiso, and I know that it's quite a sore point, especially because the Nomia Ndlovu case is still quite new in terms of our context in South Africa. But let's talk about these unnatural deaths. You say in your statistics that 82% is actually attributable to men in terms of unnatural deaths. So what do you think this is? What does this have to do with? Is it car accidents mostly that men, you know, die from? Is it, for instance, suicide? Are they the most likely to commit suicide?
Yeah, so 82% of our unnatural deaths were from males, and it's difficult for us to make definitive conclusions in terms of the reasons behind this, because we don't, I mean, our contract with the clients, you know, requires us to just, you know, pay a claim if it's valid and if the debt is valid. So these will typically be followed by, or would the death certificate would be accompanied by a police report where there's going to be an investigation. And like I said, we see that, and maybe to get back to your question, in terms of why we're seeing that for males, I think it's something that we can almost like make educated guesses on that one to say, if you think about, for example, motor vehicle accidents, you know, the question that we can ask is, are males driving faster than female? Are they more reckless than female? If you think about suicide, you know, there's this perception that, you know, male can't handle, you know, financial difficulties. So those are, like I said, I think are speculations that we can make, but I think there's better There's people that are better placed or experts that can really dive deep into that. So ours is to maybe create that awareness and raise the issue. And it's a statistic that we've been seeing over the years, really, where male dominates when it comes to unnatural death. It could be associated with the fact that, or maybe not the fact, but the generalization that males generally lead a dangerous, lifestyle. If you consider things that excite us, skydiving, racing, all those fun things, attributed to those unnatural deaths.
The adrenaline stuff, right? So you also mentioned mental health going from, I believe in 2021 or before 2021 was about the 7th, in terms of claims, but now it's become the 4th most likely to be the reason for a claim, mental health. And obviously suicide can also be linked to that?
Yeah, so yes, you're right. I think we can make a link to suicide because for someone to take the decision to take their life, it must be something that really that's been going on for some time in their head. So I think there's a connection there with mental health. But so mental health features a lot in our disability claims. Like you said, it's like the 4th cause of our disability claims. Particularly in the income protection space, where we also pay for those temporary illnesses where the client is booked off for a short period to take treatment to deal with their mental health. So we see an increase. It was 9% in 2021 in terms of the contribution to the causes. It's sitting now at 11% and still ranked, number 4. And this is something I think for us that we want to continue monitoring going forward and creating that awareness that people need to seek help when they can. But when it comes to disability, the leading cause really is musculoskeletal issues, particularly in the temporary income protection space. Those will be short-term illnesses where you fall, you break a leg, or you're playing soccer with your friends. Someone kicks you, break whatever it is that you break, and you're booked off for some time. So those would be in the income protection space. But mental health, I think it's very important for us to raise that awareness because we're seeing that increase. It's too early for us to say it's going to continue going up, but we'll continue to monitor it.
So my last question to you, what kind of lessons has the industry learned after the Nomia Ndlovu case? I mean, we found out in court that, for instance, you didn't need much to actually cover a person in terms of their deaths. You sometimes, in some companies, you didn't even need that person's buy-in to cover them in case they died. What kind of lessons have been learned in the industry to make sure that there is no killsurance, like it was called?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to go deep into that story. I haven't been following it very, very closely. But what I can share with you is that in the space that I'm in, which is the retail life insurance side of things, there's a concept called underwriting, which is almost like gatekeeping to assess the risk before we bring it in. So clients would associate this with typically being, where we take bloods, where there's a nurse visit. So in those situations, we actually do confirm the life assured, and life assured is aware of the fact that there's life cover that is being taken in their life. But there's other products, and I'm not going to speak for the industry as a whole. For example, like your funeral product, where there's limited to no underwriting at all. And I think that's where the risk is maybe increased. And I'm sure, my colleagues in those spaces, we're working closely with the regulator to see how they close those gaps.
All right. Thank you so much, Sibusiso, for speaking to us. Sibusiso Khumalo, the head of technical marketing at Momentum Life Insurance.